Hey, Olivia, how you doing? All right, great written rationale here. Thank you so much for taking the time to really describe your process here. This is fantastic. One of the things that I'm missing here is in the week six course announcement in the video, I had recommended to students to submit both a PDF of the magazine ad as well as the banner ads, just so we can check harmony in the campaign as well as check the adaptation of the magazine ad to the banner ad. It looks like you didn't have a chance to do that, or didn't see that request in the video. So we'll just talk about the banner ad. So I think the banner ad is good. I think there's a couple of things. The first thing I think is it's just begging for color. I think this gray is really muting the message considerably, and I think the addition of color is really going to add a lot to this ad. I think one of the things that's happening here is you've got this area is just so tightly packed with information that it almost is rendering this side of the banner ad to be secondary. My concern is that the viewer is going to look at this and this only, and they're going to decide whether they want to click on the banner to get to the site or not. But they're going to probably skip over this whole thing here. The reason being is because everything is so tightly packed over here that it's almost forcing the eye to that area. I think that we can redistribute the visual weight associated with this banner, and I think that by doing so, we'll create more of a harmonious relationship between the type and the image of this banner ad. I also think this is begging for color. So I'm going to run my recommendations by you. And boy, I wish the magazine ad was up here so we could make some further, more accurate comparisons. But based on what I see, the first thing I want to mention is that the logo has been distorted. That typically happens upon placement of the logo, specifically resizing the logo after you've placed it. Make sure that the aspect ratio is constrained. Let me show you what I mean. This is the logo that you've used right here, right? What I'm going to do is let me just get in here. What I want to do is, okay, that is the logo you used, right? Now, what I want you to do, I'm going to leave it right here, and I want you to compare the shape of this logo mark right here with the shape here, and compare the shape of the A and the typography, and you can clearly see that this has been stretched vertically. That is much taller and more narrow than this. The A is taller and narrow. The counter areas of the type of the letter forms clearly indicate different shapes than what we see here. They're elongated. Again, that tells me that this has been resized. However, the original aspect ratio has not been constrained. So you want to constrain that the height and width. You just want to make sure that you're constraining those proportions as you resize, so that you're not resizing one axis while the other axis stays the same, causing a distortion. So definitely want to replace that logo. I recommend one of the color logos. I would use this one. I think it'll really bring some color in this. Right now, even the background image itself is almost monochromatic. So I think this is just begging for color. So I would recommend, as I said, I would recommend using this logo in the ad. Now, what that's going to do is going to allow you to bring color from that logo into the type and really start interspersing some beautiful color into the ad, which I think is really going to help. So recommendations: new ad. Take the purple or the cyan from that logo and use it, and try to figure out where you're going to use it and what color you're going to use for your type. It'll work. I think it'll be quite harmonious in terms of color. So think about that. I would also recommend this. Let's take this logo here, reduce the size, place it right up here with that color logo. That way you can say Mother's Day special, 50% off, mention this ad. Then you can remove this from such close proximity to the headline and subhead, move it down a little bit. And what I would recommend here is you've got 3 areas of animation: get mom, the pampering, she deserves. Listen to the cadence as I read this. And I'm forced to read it like this as a viewer because this is how it's presented. So I see give mom, the pampering, she deserves. That's really, really an ambiguous way to sound out, even mentally sound out a phrase. My recommendation is to just fade the whole thing in and then fade it out. Make sure it's not gone for too long. I think the timing here is great because as this ends, this pops right back in. So there's no time where a viewer could look at this and not see that there's an animation there. If a viewer sees an animation, they're going to wait until the animation is complete. So, but this is pushing it because give mom the pampering. Now, the viewer by this time is going to go, all right, I'm on to other things. You know how impatient we are when we're looking at the web, right? So yes, I would recommend just assembling that as one statement and animated in, animated out, animated in, animated out. Fade in, fade it out. Don't let it be gone for too long. We definitely want the viewer to know that there's something going on there. Okay, those are my recommendations. I think try it. I think you're really. I'm really looking forward to seeing this ad with the little color associated with it. I think it's really, really going to bring out the dynamic um, attributes of the image itself, as well as the gorgeous palette associated with the background image is going to play beautifully with the color in the logo. I think you're going to like it. I would try it. If you want to try it and run it by me, that's great. I'd like to see you try those changes. I think that's really going to help. Also, if you do want me to run by anything or take a look at anything, just go ahead and resubmit right here. And include your magazine ad if you get a chance, if that's the direction you decide. All right. Great start. Thank you so much for sharing. And if you have any questions or need clarification, please let me know. Thanks.